Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
And you know what we
9:17, welcome back. Tuesday morning, smacking you in the face. It is beautiful outside. I mean, what a morning, you know? We're almost at deer hunting weather, you know?
Yes, it is.
Brian, how are we doing, man?
I'm doing great.
So we were talking a little bit. Meat LLC, this is really cool. So you have 40 acres that you were deer hunting on, still are.
Yep.
How's the season been the past couple of years? Has it been okay?
Been pretty good.
There you go. A lot better than my buddies are doing.
Yep.
So tell me how you got into cattle before we even start the conversation, because this is just great.
Yeah. So we were deer hunting, and on the 40 acres, I had 10 acres that we weren't really using, and I got tired of mowing. So we fenced it in, and I bought a few cows and put on there to just stop mowing.
How quickly did the mowing stop?
Pretty quick. I was done with it.
So I think this is really a great conversation to have, because especially right now, Brian, just, nationally, a lot of people are talking about our unhealthy food options, and especially meat, man. I mean, I didn't realize how bad some of this product is. And a lot of people are looking for more locally sourced and home raised product. And now to have this is a really great thing for the area.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's connecting consumers with the farmers that may be 5 miles down the road that you don't even know exist, or you're not going to stop by their house and knock on their door and say, hey, do you got a side of beef I could buy? So
right. That's a good point.
So this is just bringing that connection to everyone.
And did you realize that when you bought the initial cattle for your mowing project, what you would be turning it into? No,
I didn't. My family had always bought a side of beef from local farmers, and then as I got older, I got out of it, and then as I had kids, I started looking for how do I buy a side of beef from a local farmer, and I had lost some connections and stuff. So as I started raising them, I went to go and sell them. I was like, oh, where do I sell? How do I get rid of the extra cows that I don't want?
Right.
So I saw the problems that farmers have. They're focused on their operations, but then they got to learn how to do marketing. They got to get it out there. So that's where I kind of put the two together and said, okay, I know the consumer side, I know the farming side now, some of those challenges. How do I put this together?
So this is brilliant, and that's what perfect lead-in, because at RiverBender.com is where you can see this. And now take me through how the website works, because I'm on it now, and we can kind of go through it here just for the folks at home in a quick couple of seconds. This is the home page, and just right off the bat, featured farmers are right there. So what happens when I click on See More?
So when you go and see more or go and search, you actually get taken to the farm that you clicked on. So there's 3 farms right now, one in Jerseyville, one in Carrollton, and one in Beecher City, which is up kind of Taylorville area.
Okay.
So those farms have product ready to sell. You see what the processor date is. That's the date the farmer will actually take to the processor. And then with beef, they usually hang them for 2 weeks, 10 days, somewhere in that range. And then they cut them up per your cutting instructions. So you're going to go, you pick out which one you want, look at the processor of where the processor is, because you want to kind of get a processor local to you.
Right.
Those processors, one's going to Springfield, one's going to Highland, and the other one goes to Oconee, Illinois. So you pick where you want to pick it up from, and the date that you want that it's going to the processor, and you place your order. Now from that order, the farm that'll send a message to the farmer. The farmer actually accepts that, making sure that they've got the inventory. So they accept your order. You'll get an invoice for a deposit. You pay the deposit, and then whenever the farmer delivers the beef to the processor, which there's some in October and November, once they deliver it, they'll get the actual hanging weight. Now, if you don't know what a hanging weight is, you got the live animal weight that when they go in, the hanging weight is after they've been dispatched and the insides are taken out. It's the meat and the bones that is hanging there on the rail. So that's the price you're paying. is based off of the hanging weight. So the farmer will go and the processor will give the actual hanging weight. So you got some credibility that you know what the actual hanging weight is. They put that in, and then the final invoice gets sent to you. Now, a couple of those farmers, you'll notice 2 of the farmers, processing cost is included in that price.
Right.
The other one, the processing, you pay directly to the processor. So there's no middleman in this. It's supply chain is farmer to processor to you.
This is so cool. I mean, because this needed to be modernized for such a long time. And take me through some of the conversations you're having with just those 3, farms and those farmers, and talking about how just it's made this process so much easier for them. Because there's been so many times, man. Just you type into Google, that same exact search. Where can I find this? And it's like a needle in a haystack for so many. This is great. So what are those conversations like? Yeah, so the farmers, like right now, we're in harvest season. Right.
They don't have the time to be spending out on Facebook and trying to learn marketing and get all their information out there. So this is a great opportunity for you to be able to buy 24/7. Mm-hmm. You're not texting with the farmers. They're doing the harvesting.
Right.
So it just brings all this together and makes it much easier for them. And then on here, there's education component to it. Because there's a lot of people, as I talk to consumers, I've never bought direct from a farmer. So I go to the store, I grab my ribeye, and that's how I buy.
What says it's a ribeye?
Yeah. So how do I buy from a farmer? So it's on this website, there's a cut sheet. So as you're talking to the butcher, what are the questions they're going to ask? This walks you through. It gives you a sample cut sheet. Do you want 3/4 inch steak? Do you want 1 inch steak? How do you want your roast cut up? How do you want the hamburger packaged? Do you want patties? Do you want 1 inch or 1 pound tubes or 2 pound? So it walks you through that process, making it a more straightforward process.
Well, that's so important too, because I'm sure that's a huge hang up in a lot of those transactions or a lot of those conversations, because especially like you said, it's harvest season. We got 18,000 more and seriously more important things to do on the totem pole. And it's like, well, I don't have time really to talk about cuts right now. For a first timer here, I got to keep moving. And that's what we're pulling up here now is just some of that sample sheet for the folks to look at. And we're going to link everything in a write-up on RiverBender that'll take you right to it. But it's really great to know that education's there, but also I just talking about why it's important to buy local. And it's not, of course, supporting local is important, but there's so many health and nutrition aspects to this that make it so much more important to do so.
Yeah, so with buying local, the farm that it's coming from. You can, as the farms are doing their write-ups and stuff, they're telling you how they're raising these animals. So you know how they're being raised. You know that it's local. So from an environmental standpoint, sustainability, you don't have stuff being trucked from Western U.S. to the Midwest. Eventually, this is going to expand out, but right now we're really focused on the Midwest area. And then from there, it's not feedlots. So these are cows that are out grazing pasture.
Right.
And then you can look, and if you may want grass-fed, grass-finished, well, you can go and find the farm that has that. The ones that are on there right now they're on pasture, but then they're grain finished, which gives you a lot more marbling and stuff. So it really opens up for consumer choice as to what you want, and you able to pick.
Well, and on top of that, just going back to that education, component of it too, for us to learn, a little bit of that process is important for everybody too.
Absolutely. We've seen it in 2020, and since then, you need to know where your meat and where your food's coming from, and people are just a lot more health conscious now. Well,
and it's honestly a great thing, and now to have this in our region though, because this is something that I would expect happening really in another portion, maybe a little bit more in that west central United States, where you have this software and all of this, but to have this more localized is a really big incentive. And now, have you had folks that reaching out that says, hey, how can I be a part of farm meat? How can I get my inventory there? And if so, how is that possible?
Yeah, so I've had a few farmers reach out and see how to put it on there. It's a very simple process where you go, you sign up. I use Stripe in the back end for all the payment processing and to hold the farmer's information, banking information for when I pay the farmer. It's no different than like an eBay or some of those where, or an Etsy, where you sign up, they hold on to that information and pay the vendors out. And then once you have a product on there, it's really copy and pasting from 1 month to the next. If you're taking product to the butcher every month, you really just copy that information over, because the information about the cow is the same.
Right.
And I do inventory management. So if you're taking 4 cows to the butcher in October, you put in that you take 4. You're not creating 4 different entries. So then as you sell those, it actually takes off that half a cow is no longer available once your inventory gets below a half.
Okay.
So if you only got a quarter left to sell, it's only going to show to the users that you got a quarter left to sell.
Well, that's even more important too, because that's a lot of that, those couple of minutes add up.
Absolutely.
Man, this is really cool. You got a moment to stick around?
Yeah.
I got to take a quick break. 9:27, more Daily Show hitting you right in the nose with Farm Meat LLC right after this. Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway safe rubber tire dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our Daily Show. Here's CJ. Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you in the nose on a Tuesday. Brian back in studio. Farm Meat LLC. This is really cool. And just getting in, Brian, to the different cuts and different sizes again, because, for me, and I'll be honest with you, I've always seen the post about half a cow and, all of those different sizes, but what do they truly mean? And if you could kind of break them down to what maybe a first-time consumer could expect on the longevity of it, what you could make out of it, all of that good stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So with beef, you could buy a whole beef or a whole cow. Generally, people aren't doing that unless it's split up amongst multiple families in your family, multiple kids and aunts or something. But what we allow is you buy a quarter or a half.
Okay.
Now, a quarter is often called a half of a half. So you don't get the hind quarter or the front quarter. You actually get half of a whole side.
Oh, okay.
So and why that's important is because you got roasts,
Right.
Your steaks all are different based on the front versus the back quarter. So you're getting a half of a half is what it's sometimes called. And you go in and you pick, I want a quarter. Mm-hmm. So from there, you're going to get a roast. It's about 180 pounds is the last cow. Hanging weight was 180 pounds.
Okay.
Now, with that, once they go through and actually start cutting that down, you're going to have some loss due to bones and other stuff that gets tossed away. But you're going to get, you're going to select the hamburger, you get a half or a quarter of a brisket, you get roast. And so and on that cut sheet we had up earlier, it lays out all the different pieces. And if you want your tallow, if you want your, which is the fat,
Right.
If you want your beef, tongue, liver, those are available to you. A lot of people don't get those because a lot of people aren't eating that stuff as much anymore.
Right.
But that's available to you. And then as you look at the cut sheet, each one, there's actually on the website, you can see by family size how long that meat will actually typically take.
That's
or last you.
That's really cool. Man, that's really cool.
And along with freezer space and stuff. That's all on the website under the shopping guide.
That's really cool. And we'll go there here in a second. And so on your shopping guide too, I see that you got beef and pork. And now how does pork differ from beef? Because I'm sure that these animals cut differently, I'm sure, and that that process is a little bit different in terms of loss. Do you lose more in a cow than you would a pig? Or do you kind of lose more weight in a pig than you would a cow? No, I mean it's all based on percentages. Is it really?
So
okay.
It's not going to be that much different, but I mean with a hog they're a much smaller animal, so typically those are either sold as a whole hog or a half.
Okay.
You're not buying a quarter with a hog.
Oh, so it is only a half or a whole for a hog.
Yeah.
Okay.
The farmer has that option to select when they're listing the inventory as to how they want to sell it.
Cool.
Some farmers will only want to sell it as a whole, and which is great if you're wanting to do a whole hog barbecue.
Right.
So have it dropped off the processor, they'll dispatch it, they'll get it to where it's ready to be cut up, but then you just go pick it all up and then go do your barbecue. So
man, that's cool. Yeah,
that's a great way. I'm talking to a couple farms right now about adding lambs or sheep. So you'll be able to get that here in the near future as well.
Really neat.
And again, those are usually sold based on a whole lamb because they're a smaller animal. So you may only get 30 to 40 pounds of meat out of a lamb.
And honestly, though, a lot of times that's perfect for anybody. The 30 or 40 pounds for a good while.
Absolutely. And what it also helps you do is you can buy it with this site because it's always been word of mouth,
right?
That you sold before.
Exactly.
So if I didn't have the conversation with the farmer, it was a year before I would maybe get another one. Now with this site, I can buy a smaller quantity because maybe my budget doesn't allow me to buy a half. So I can buy a quarter, then go back on in 3-4 months and buy another quarter or buy another lamb.
This is what I think is so important about it too, because you're right, especially right now, money's a little bit tighter for folks. So it to still be able to have that good quality meat and not have to worry about, scraping some money together or maybe grabbing your buddy and going in half and half to get through it. You're a lot easier, to get that process done. And now I did find that sheet on your website, which is really easy to find. This is a great site, man. It's really accessible. This is really interesting. So a fourth of a cow will last you about 15 to 25 weeks. You're going to get 80 to 100 pounds of beef, and then 50 to 70 meals for a family of 4 to 5.
Yes.
So for one person, that's pretty much a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
honestly.
Yeah. Depending on your family size, it can last a whole year.
That's incredible. I mean, honestly, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
So, I mean, when people look at the price of this is a really good eye-opener to, how much you're saving in the long run, because if you think about those Chinooks runs, hell, by the time you go every 2 or 3 days for that butcher bundle for $20, you're better off buying a good quality piece of locally raised beef.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right here.
Yep, right where it came from. And
I'm a
helping
fan.
out your local community.
I am 100% a fan.
Yeah.
Well, and what's this do for that farmer? Because I know that, and I don't want to say I know. I could only assume that, for a lot of folks that are focused on, harvesting and their crops and product that way, that maybe this could be an income booster for some. Is this a good way to kind of keep just some money rolling all year round without having to stop and keep going into a different direction?
Yeah, so I mean, the other option for a farmer, if they don't sell direct to consumer, is it goes to the auction barn.
Okay.
And then they get whatever the auction barn wants to give them, which is then also sometimes tied to the big four producers that are taking them out west. Not producers, but the big four chains that sell directly to the grocery store. So this is taking them out of that path and getting you right in control and working with the farmers. So
this is incredible. Keeping
the money local. I mean, that's what it does.
Well, and talk about that streamlined process, too, because, I mean, for consumers, this is great. Because for me, I only saw the posts on Facebook when someone would share them, like, hey, who wants to go in on this? Or there's, beef available. And now to be able to sit here and go, well, I can actually do this myself. It's not one of those processes where you don't know any of the information because it's right here. I mean, you have a whole buying guide on how to do this and a step-by-step process. I mean, you've done this. How much time are we saving with Farm Meat LLC and this website?
It's a huge time saver from a consumer perspective.
Right.
Think back before Airbnb was a thing. So what you had to do to find a condo was you had to know someone, or you had to look in the classified ads of Craigslist
and hope for the best.
And hope for the best. So what I've done, and now with the farms, you either got to know the farm name because they're probably not spending the money on the SEO to get it ranked at the very top. You're going to have there's some competitors out there, but they're shipping nationally. I'm not shipping product. This is keeping it local. I don't want to do the shipping portion of this. So now with Airbnb, you go on there and you're able to put all your selections of, I want oceanfront condo, I want a hot tub, whatever you want, and you're able to make that decision based off of all the product that's listed on Airbnb. That's what Farm Meat is doing for the farm community and with direct to consumer. You no longer have to do the endless searches trying to find a farm that's 10 miles down the road, and who knows what results you're going to get. Most of the time, the farm's not going to show up.
Right.
Because they might not have a website.
Right.
So it's free to farmers to get on here.
On top of that, too, though, with that SEO, if you type in farm, a lot of times you're going to get a tourist attraction.
Yeah,
you aren't even going to get a real farm,
Exactly.
This is incredible. Well, and for the farmers, how much time? I mean, I'm sure for them, this is like a weeks and months saving process in time when you add up all that it takes to really get the word out there and
it can, and lots of money, because I'm doing a lot of the marketing, so I'm pooling the marketing across all the farms to have it on here. So it's going to be time saver for them, money saver for them as we put all of it into this website.
Man, this is so cool. So whenever we're talking about just wait time and stuff, because for first time consumers, I'm sure that process is going to look a lot different. For it isn't your Schnucks run.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Can you? I mean, it's hard to ballpark, I'm sure, because it's going to depend on, I'm sure, the cow, the farm, and all of those different variables. But is there an estimate normally on the turnaround time for when you place your order?
Yeah, so when you go on the website, you'll see there's a processor date on there.
Okay.
That processor
Going
date
back to that. Okay.
is when it's dropped off at the processor. And for a cow, it's a 2-week, 10 to 14 days is usually what they hang beef for. And that's to dry it out to age it. Now on hogs, lamb, and goats, you don't have that. Turnaround time is within a week. So beef, 2 weeks, assume off that processor, and it's on the website.
Yeah.
It tells you that.
Going back to that, because I remember you saying that, but I didn't really click until now. I mean, that's very quick.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, my brain kept going back to, after the processor, there's another step, but that is the step.
That is the step.
This is incredible,
They do the cutting it up and everything in that 2 weeks, and you're good to go. Man. So if you know you got some money set aside for this, and now it's October, so it's in November. You go ahead and purchase it. You get that order in, and then 2 weeks after that processor date is when it's going to be available.
So, and this is kind of like I guess I'll ask you for me personally, but I can see others doing this. Obviously in April, hopefully there's some money. Mine never does.
Yeah.
Maybe I get lucky this year and get a tax refund. I can use that that's what I would basically use that for, because I'm eating all year long and I don't have to go back and buy meat anymore for the year.
Right.
How do you freeze the product you aren't using, and what's that look like? Are there any tips that you can give somebody that's never done this before on getting the most out of this?
Yeah, so you're going to get a deep freeze.
Okay.
It's not going to all fit in the top of your freezer or refrigerator. So you get a deep freezer, chest or upright. Now, personally, I prefer an upright.
Okay.
Because I can see everything that I've got. So when I go in to pull out a steak, I can easily see it. I'm not head deep into my chest freezer trying to find at the bottom.
Right, yeah.
They get lost down there, and you'll find 1, 2, 3 years later.
You'll find one 40 years later. We've all been in grandma's deep freezer.
Exactly. So, and on that buyer's guide, you can see kind of how much space it's going to take in a deep freeze. So you need to have that, and that's what's going to keep it cold and keep it frozen solid. And people aren't in there like they are in the top of your refrigerator freezer. That's
it. So there's really no, because that's what I was always nervous about with this, was just that kind of freeze process. Because to me, I was like, man, if I don't get the right bags, or if I don't put this in the right spot on the freezer, am I going to worry about freezer burn and this, or how long do I have in lifespan? But this is really cool to know that. That's really simple.
Yeah, it's very simple, and it works out. I mean, some of these processors, you'll have some that do the butcher paper, taking you back a little bit. You got the butcher paper, and some of them are doing actual vacuum seal now for
really
some
cool.
of the freeze dried.
Do you prefer the paper or the vacuum seal?
I've not had the vacuum seal. I've only had the paper.
See, that's cool. I like it. Brian, man, this was great. And for people to learn more, what's the website? Is it farmmeat.com? Because there's market.farmmeat.com too,
So
right?
farmmeat.com is where all the information is.
Okay.
That's the landing page. From there, you'll link over to the market.farmmeat.com, which has actually got the farms listed based on the map and where you actually do the order.
Really cool.
But
and
they
now,
all link together.
I see a sign-up button. Is that just for the farmers, or do we have as a consumer created an account too?
When you sign up, it'll actually take you to a page that asks you if you're a consumer or a farmer. So one button for both.
Really cool.
And then we log you in, sign you up the appropriate way.
Man, this is awesome. Well, best of luck this deer season, too, man.
We're going to need it.
We'll take a quick break at 9:44. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com. But in the meantime, I'll stay here. You'll stay there on RiverBender and Roku TV.